how long these songs are. So we're doing, I say, let's keep it simpler. So let's go teach the first one, and then also, you know, then teach the harmony. We all sing it together, and then I'll sing. And we won't worry about part.
Okay, so that's
Yeah. Yes, but there should be one up there that let's check the these guys.
Hi. So, what's the plan for the arch this morning?
Can you do the arch with who else was there?
It was supposed to be Carolyn and Terry.
Oh, Terry's right here.
Well, and Carolyn told me that she would let me know. Did she let you know?
She let me know she probably wanted to know that, so I think we can count on that. Hi.
Thank you for the invite.
Thank you.
Sorry on short notice that we couldn't work it out.
No problem.
I'm very looking forward to this stuff.
Yeah. And
I love this song.
I want to use it again, so we'll do it. Oh, are you the kind of person who would just get up and dance in the aisles to it?
If other people were, or if I wasn't quite as tired as I am today.
Okay. Oh, I'm going to try to make the invite.
I'm definitely the kind of person who will sit in my seat and sing along.
Okay, good.
So
Thanks.
is Fred gonna play come sing a song with me?
Yes, he is.
So I have to unmute.
Yes.
Should I unmute his voice mic as well?
Yes.
Just trying to figure out what the cues are.
Thank you. And I think that's it. Okay. I will be signing it up from the floor.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Morning. Good morning. I hope everyone here and at home was able to enjoy the moderately cool weather last night. My name is Steve Drevick. I'm a member of the board at Tennessee Valley Unitarian Universalist Church, and I'd like to welcome you on behalf of the board and the program council. You're welcome here, whoever you are, wherever you're from, and wherever you are on your journey. And if you're joining us online, you're welcome as well. If you'd like more information about TVUUC, please fill out the visitor information card. It's in the seat back of the pews in front of you. If you can't find one of the ushers would be glad to help you with that. And you can just place it in the collection basket as it goes by. For those of you viewing online, you can do the same thing. Go to the church website, and under the menu, Stay in Touch, there's a virtual visitor card you can fill out as well. So as we move forward together today, please remember one of my quote from one of my favorite authors and humanists, Kurt Vonnegut: "A purpose of life is to love whoever is around to be loved." If you and your family are more interested in programs for children, youth, and parents, there's a religious exploration table in the lobby. You probably saw it as you came in. Trevor's there to answer any questions that you may have. Other announcements. I have Alice here, who has a brief announcement about a Family Promise program.
Good morning. I wanted to remind you all that we are supporting Pasta and Bluegrass, which is Family Promise's biggest fundraiser of the year. We are cooking pasta and taking it to Sacred Heart in the auditorium or the old sanctuary. I'm sure there will be signs. This coming Saturday from 6 to 8 p.m. Tickets, unlike what is said in your program, which is incorrect, tickets for adults are $15 and tickets for children are $10. Tickets for a family group would be a $40 ticket, and that is 2 adults and 3 children. Chloe is selling tickets. You see Chloe back there, our little bright-eyed pixie. I hope you don't mind. I hope you took that as a compliment. I meant it that way. In the fellowship hall after service, and she will sell you tickets. I will also be there with Chloe. We still need a few volunteers to help our contribution happen. We need 2 assistant cooks, and we need 1 server for the second session, which is 7 to 8 p.m. That's about it. I hope you all can come. I hope you can support Family Promise through this way. It's a great way to help, especially if you don't have enough time to do it during our regular hosting of family members. Thank you so much. Hope to see you there. Oh, that's yours.
Thanks, Alice. So also in the same area after the service, if you go to see them, we also have coffee and conversation in the fellowship hall as well. So that's after the service. Gives you 2 good reasons to hang around. So now, if you have any electronic devices, please turn them to the silent mode, and as we enter worship. Thank you.
It's a mystery to me. We have agreed, which we have agreed. And you think you have to want more than you need. Till you have it all, you won't be free. Society, you're crazy breed. Hope you're not lonely without me. When you want more than you have, you think you need. When you think more than you want, your thoughts begin to bleed. think I need to find a bigger place. 'Cause when you have more than you think, you need more space. Society, you're crazy breed. Now you're not lonely without me. Society, crazy indeed. Hope you're not lonely without me. There's those thinking more, less is more. But if less is more, how you keeping score? Seems for every point you make, your level drops. Kinda like you're starting from the top. You can't do that. Society, you're crazy breed. Hope you're not lonely without me. Society, crazy indeed. Hope you're not lonely without me. Society, have mercy on me. Hope you're not angry if I disagree. Society, crazy indeed. Hope you're not lonely without me.
Hi, y'all. My name's Maris Porter, and I have today's opening words by Betts Weinecke. As we gather together this morning, may we learn to recognize and affirm the pieces of possibility, the bits of good we bring. May we encourage rather control, love rather than possess, enable rather than envy, allowing our individual gifts to weave a patchwork of peace, the soft, deep blue of sensitivity and understanding, the red energy of creativity, the white heat of convictions, the risky, fragile green of new growth, the golden flashes of gratitude, and the warm rose of love. Each of us is indispensable if we are to minister to a broken and wounded world. Together in our gathered diversity, we form the whole. So be it.
Please rise and join in singing of our chalice lighting hymn. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Love is the spirit of this church.
To dwell together in peace, to seek
and to help one another. This is our great covenant. Let us join together in our opening hymn, hymn 113, in the gray hymnal, Where is Our Holy Church?
Our children and youth religious education programs, religious exploration programs for the new program year. And I'm really excited to be here and to see so many of our church friends of all ages here this morning. And as we get started this year, we have a theme for our year, something that we're going to be working on throughout our programs that is really kind of the center of what we're thinking about this year. And we are joining Unitarian Universalists all over the country in thinking about this year and thinking about what our core values are as Unitarian Universalists. Now, we say an affirmation here in this space every single Sunday, and in fact, we said it just a little while ago. Can anybody tell me what the very first word of that affirmation is? Can we say it one more time, even louder? I need a helper. Would you come up and help me? Would you place love? And if you look closely, you can see right where it goes, I bet. Thank you. Love. Our theme for this year is love is at the center. Can we say that together one more time? Love is at the center. And we're going to be exploring that and thinking about what that means for us. But I have a question. If love is at the center, does that mean that there's something else around it? Maybe. So there is a new articulation, a new way of thinking about and talking about what our core UU values are that we're going to be talking about a lot this year. And there are some values that we are going to place around love, which is at the center. So I need one more helper, please. Would you like to come up and help? Would you pick one of these and place it? I bet if you look closely, you can see where it might go. It can go in any of the spots, and in fact, you see some lines. We're going to put it right between them. Does that work? I didn't do a good job of explaining that. All right. This is a little smaller because we had to fit it on here. What this says is pluralism. So one of our core values is pluralism, and what does that mean? Well, one of the things that means is that we celebrate diversity. Diversity of identity, diversity of opinion, diversity of experience. Thank you. Can I have one more helper? Would you like to come up and help? Would you pick one of these? There you go. And would you place it on here somewhere? Do you see there are some lines? If you stick the end of it right between some of those lines, it can be in any of those spots you want it to be in. Thank you very much. Another of our values is equity. Have some of us heard the word equity before? It might be new for some of us. Equity, when we talk about equity, we think about fairness and justice and ways in which it's important for us as a community to help make sure everybody has the opportunity to flourish. What does flourish mean? Yeah, what does flourish mean? Any thoughts? To grow, to thrive, to really experience life in all of its fullness, to have room and space and support and nurturing. When we talk about equity, we want everybody to have that opportunity. All right, I bet you could guess I need one more volunteer helper. Let's see, would you like to come up and help? Pick one of these to place. Oh, that's a good one. Oh, uh-oh. All right, thank you. All right, so pick a spot. You see some lines. It goes right between one of those lines, wherever you like. Thank you. And if you, another one of our values is generosity. And when we talk about generosity, we think about generosity of spirit. We talk about generosity in terms of sharing some of our own extra with people and communities that don't have extra and don't have enough. There are lots of ways in which we practice and are invited to practice being generous with ourselves and our resources. All right, I need another volunteer who has not had a chance yet. Would you like to come and pick one? All right, and if you bring it right up here, it's a little high. Can we bring it down there? Perfect. One more of our UU values that we're going to be thinking about this year is interdependence. And the way we sometimes talk about that is we are all connected. And what affects one of us affects all of us. And we know that we depend on each other and that we are one system where everything is connected, all people and all beings and all that exists. So thank you. All right, we're getting closer. One more. Would you like to come forward and help out? Pick one of those two. There we go. And find a spot you'd like to place that one. Thank you very much. Another of our values is transformation. That's a really long word. It was hard to fit it on there. It's why. These two are why. All of them are so small. But what's another way of talking about transformation? What does that mean? Change. Do we always stay the same? We know that embracing change and being willing to change and grow is part of how we become who we are growing into, part of how we become more and more the community we long to be. And so transformation is one of our core values. And we have one more that's part of this articulation. And let's see, would you like to come and place one more? What are we building here? Can anybody tell? There's a circle. What shape are we making here? It looks like a flower. Thank you. With love at the center. One more of our values is justice. And we talk a lot about justice in this community, don't we? Are there some of us here who have taken action to stand up to work for justice in some way? Big ways and tiny ways and everyday ways. That's a core value of who we are as Unitarian Universalists also. And with love at the center, all of these petals are the way we grow our love and the way we put our love into action in the world. So I have one last piece, and I'm sorry I don't have enough for every single person in the room. Would you like to come help put this one up? And that's going to go right underneath. Can you help? Uh-oh. Thank you. Oh, perfect. Oh, except turn it over. The other side is sticky. There we go. You're going to help us make our beautiful flower grow and healthy. The way in which this stem, this is the way. Oh, I think that works. We're good. Thank you so much. Yeah. And so this year, we're going to be thinking in many different areas of our church community, in our children's programs, in our youth programs, within the church as a whole. These are always the things we're working on, and there's a lot more too. But we are going to be thinking about how do we as individual people and how do we as a community help this flower grow with love at the center, with pluralism and transformation and generosity and interdependence and equity and justice. And we know we are not perfect people. We are not perfect communities. We know there will always be more to do and more to learn and more growing to do. But it is one of the greatest joys of my life to be part of a community that is focused on these things. So thank you all for being part of it. And now we are going to invite our learners and leaders who are heading to our religious exploration spaces to head out for our first day of this year's program. Thank you.
And if you look in your hymnal, you can find the words to this arch song, and it is sung to the tune of "The Water is Wide." Beneath our arms we shelter you. You warm our hearts as you pass through. May our love guide you as you go, to help you learn and help you grow.
I'm Gordon Gibson, here as a member of the congregation's spiritual care team. We're available through phone calls or texts to the pastoral care phone line number, which is also on the back of the order of worship and in every newsletter. On the second Sunday of each month, we offer listening booths. Be in touch if there's something about which you need a listening ear, a joy you're bursting with, a concern that's gnawing on you. We offer attentive listening as a receptacle for your joy or an aid in getting perspective on your concern. In the last meeting of the spiritual care team, we were talking about other ways that people in the congregation connect with one another. Actually, a committee meeting like that is one way. Most of our committee meetings in the congregation start with an opportunity to check in with the rest of the committee. What's going on in my life? There are the First Sunday luncheons starting soon. The adult ed committee will be having some sessions after those luncheons. Coffee hour is a weekly opportunity to connect. Laughter is good for the soul on Fridays, another way. And small group ministry, heart-to-heart groups, lots of ways that we get to connect with each other. Members and friends who've been here longer than I've been part of this congregation will remember Freddie Brabson as organist, music director. Word has reached us that his grandmother died recently. We send him our sympathy on that loss. There's a card on the table in the fellowship hall. There may well be other cares, concerns, or sadnesses, but they haven't reached my ears. A joy that has been mentioned is that our religious exploration program for children and youth is back in full-scale operation starting this Sunday. I believe we have a program that's not just good, it's excellent. That reflects the work of our superb RE staff, but also the contributions of time and talent by many dozens of volunteers, which, come to think of it, is another opportunity to connect, actually on an intergenerational basis, with other interesting people, both young and mature. Last Sunday, it seems as though the News Sentinel was doing a special TVUUC edition. Both Mark Harmon and Chris Buice had opinion pieces that day, and there was a lovely feature article which mentioned TVUUC, former members, and Lucy Carlson, Jim and Lucy Carlson, making music in the Czech Republic. So, a joy that I notice repeatedly, but that we seldom speak about, is that in the Knoxville area, there are many organizations dedicated to creating a better, more just, caring community. This congregation is a good place to hear from people who are involved in those organizations and through whom you can get involved. And after I'd written this last night, I had a perfect illustration this morning when Shane reminded me that on Wednesday at 6, McKay's workers who have organized and are seeking a union contract with McKay's are having a rally right next door to McKay's. So if that's something that speaks to you, yes, you can get involved. We benefit when we carry our values out into the wider community. We benefit again when the concerns and insights of involved people are brought back into the congregation. So, these joys and concerns and others not known or not spoken are held in our care. Let us respond in song.
Today we have a meditation on broken hearts by Thomas Rhodes. Let us enter into a time of meditation, contemplation, and prayer. Feel the earth beneath your feet as it supports you. Feel the love of this community as it surrounds and enfolds you. Feel your breath as it flows in and out of your body. Listen to your heartbeat. Listen to your heart. And how is it with your heart? Does your heart feel whole, shielded by intellect, cocooned by reason, closed to feeling? Or is it broken, fragile to the touch, brimming with the pain of loss? Or has your heart been broken and healed so many times that it now lies open to the world, knowing that the true growth comes not without pain, that tears may wear down barriers, that we may carry the hearts of others, even when our own is too heavy for us to bear? None of us has an unblemished heart, not one. For such perfection can only be found in death, and we who are alive still have much to heal. So let us give thanks for the broken places in our hearts and in our lives. For it is only through such brokenness that we may truly touch one another, and only through touching one another that the world may be healed. Let us give thanks for the brokenness that we share. And if you'll please join me in a moment of silence. Amen.
I invite y'all to join me, stand if you're willing, in singing Resilience, which is in your program. First time around, I'm going to line out each line to you and repeat it back to me, okay? Resilience, we are strong.
Resilience, we are strong.
Shoulder to shoulder, keep moving on.
Shoulder to shoulder, keep moving on.
Resilience, make a stand, make a new plan, excuse me. Show up again and say, yes, we can.
Show up again and say, yes, we can.
Okay, sing with me, please, and I'll try to get it right. Resilience, we are strong. Shoulder to shoulder, keep moving on. Resilience, make a new plan. Show up again and say, yes, we can. If you want to sing a little higher for the harmony, you can sing with me or not, sing the other. Resilience, we are strong. Shoulder to shoulder, keep moving on. Resilience, make a new plan. Show up again and say, yes, we can. And let's try it all together, okay? Resilience, we are strong. Shoulder to shoulder, keep moving on. Resilience, make a new plan. Show up again and say, yes, we can. Resilience. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Claudia Presley. I'm the Director of Finance and Operations here at TVUC. Thank you for joining us today, either in person or online. One new thing you'll notice in the order of service, on the next to the last page, we are starting to include our attendance. You'll see in person and you'll also see online, so that we can capture all of the online attendees. That will be a week or two behind. But please look at it and you'll see who is coming online and who's here in the building. Now, we're at the part of our service where we do our offering. Today is a Share the Plate offering. What that means is that 50% of any contribution that comes in person or online will go to our Share the Plate organization. The other half of that will go to our general operating fund here at TVUC. Ways you can give, super easy. If you're sitting here in the sanctuary, check or cash in the offering basket. You can go out to the lobby, debit or credit cards out there in the giving kiosk. If you're watching online, or if you just prefer to give by text, the number is 73256. Type in TVUC and the amount you would like to give. Also, if you're watching online, somewhere on your screen, there should be a Give button or bar. Press that. That will take you to the platform to give securely online. So right now, Mark Mahundro is coming to tell you about our Share the Plate organization, which is the Planned Parenthood of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Mark Mohundro. I'm a lay leader here at the church. I'm also co-chair of the church's Reproductive Justice Task Force. This morning's organization, Planned Parenthood of Tennessee and North Mississippi, is another one of those organizations that many of us have been involved with over the years. They're members of this church who've been on their board. We've hosted many things for them, phone banking. Earlier this year, we hosted a day of trans joy. The old joke used to be that at a Planned Parenthood fundraiser, we would usually have quorum for a business meeting if we so chose. But it's been about a year and a half since the local Planned Parenthood office was torched and burned to the ground. It's been a little bit over a year and a half since Dobbs' decision came down and led to the outlawing of abortion in Tennessee. But they are still here. A lot of what Planned Parenthood does can come under three categories: healthcare, advocacy, and education. Last week, you got to meet the peer educator coordinator for Knoxville. I've had the good fortune to work for Planned Parenthood both in the healthcare side and in the advocacy side. They offer very vital services, not just abortion care, but healthcare. Healthcare for people who have got low wages, of low economic means. They also have been doing a lot more trying to increase safety here in Tennessee. They will be one of the groups that is part of the coalition that will be in Nashville next week for the special session on gun law reform. As I said, it's been about a year and a half since the arson took place, and they are still here. They have a mobile health unit that we were going to host, but unfortunately we were zoned incorrectly, but we did help support that. They are seeing patients there during the week. We still have a peer educator. All that to say also that it's probably going to get worse here in Tennessee. I hate to say that, but it's just part of the way things are. We may at one point be able to offer no gender-affirming care to the trans community. We already can't have abortions here in Tennessee for pregnant folk. So, I hope that you will give. I hope you will remember that we have supported them and that the causes that they fight for, and just ask for anything you can do to help. All right? And if you want more information about Planned Parenthood, please find me afterwards. Thanks.
If you want to sing out, sing out. And if you want to be free, be free. 'Cause there's a million things to be, you know that there are. And if you want to live high, live high. And if you want to live low, live low. 'Cause there's a million ways to go, you know that there are. You can do what you want, the opportunity's on. And if you find a new way, you can do it today. And you can make it all true, and you can make it undo. You see, it's easy. You only need to know. Well, if you want to say yes, say yes. And if you want to say no, say no. 'Cause there's a million ways to go, you know that there are. And if you want to be me, be me. And if you want to be you, be you. 'Cause there's a million things to do, you know that there are. You can do what you want, the opportunity's on. And And if you find a new way, I can do it today. You can make it all true, and you can make it anew. You see, it's easy. You only need to know. Well, if you want to say yes, say yes. And if you want to say no, say no. 'Cause there's a million ways to go. You know that there are. And if you want to be me, be me. And if you want to be you, be you. 'Cause there's a million things to do. You know that there are. If you want to sing out, sing out. And if you want to be free, be free. 'Cause there's a million ways to be. You know that there are. 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 You know that there are.
Get ready, because we're going to sing that chorus at the end. So, the scriptures tell us, be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your minds. In that spirit, I want to invite every one of us to join together in saying the nonconformist oath. Repeat after me. I promise to be different. I promise to be unique. I promise not to repeat things other people say. The Nonconformist Oath was the brainchild of Steve Martin, the comedian, and he did it for comic purposes, but it does illustrate the paradox of being a nonconformist. In England, during the early days of the Reformation, any church that would not submit to the authority of the official state religion was called a nonconformist church. And if you travel around Wales and some of the northern England, you will see churches labeled as nonconformist churches. And that word described a wide variety of different kinds of churches, but what they had in common was a willingness to challenge the authority of both church and state. The Unitarian Universalist Church comes from that strand of the Reformation. In the 19th century, Ralph Waldo Emerson, using the language of his era, said, "Whosoever would be a man must be a nonconformist." And today we would improve on his language by saying, "Whoever would be a self-actualized human being must be a nonconformist. Whoever would be for justice and peace and the integrity of creation must be a nonconformist." In the midst of the civil rights movement, Dr. Martin Luther King was speaking to a group of psychologists when he said, "You who are in the field of psychology have given us a great word. That word is maladjusted. This word is probably used more than any other word in psychology. You are all saying that we must seek a well-adjusted life. But on the other hand, I am sure that we will recognize that there are some things in our society to which we should never be adjusted. We must never adjust ourselves to racial discrimination and racial segregation. We must never adjust ourselves to religious bigotry. We must never adjust ourselves to economic conditions that take necessities from the many to give luxuries to the few. We must never adjust ourselves to the madness of militarism and the self-defeating effects of physical violence." Dr. King often said that human salvation lies in the hands of the creatively maladjusted. Whosoever would be fully human, must be maladjusted, must be a nonconformist. Whoever would aspire to be an instrument of peace must be maladjusted. To use the words of Henry David Thoreau, when the machinery of society seems to be pushing us in the direction of doing harm to others, we must be a counter-friction to the machine. This summer, I went to General Assembly of the Unitarian Universalist Association in Pittsburgh, and driving back from Pittsburgh to Knoxville, I decided to take a detour and take a pilgrimage to Ripley, Ohio, which is a city that played a very important part in the Underground Railroad that helped fugitive slaves escape slavery in the South and move toward freedom in the North and Canada. Now, in that era, before the Civil War, the United States government did a lot to try to get people to conform to the institution of slavery. It was legal in the slave states, but also in the free states, you were supposed to return slaves to the slave states. You were required by law to do so. And in this period, the citizens, or many of the citizens of Ripley, Ohio, became involved in the Underground Railroad. Many of them were Southerners who chose to relocate in the North so they could help the Underground Railroad movement, including the Reverend John Rankin, who was originally a native of East Tennessee, but relocated to Ripley. And in a sermon, when he was asked why he could justify non-compliance to the law, like the fugitive slave law, and why he would challenge public sentiment when public sentiment was clearly in favor of slavery, he said, "The history of the world shows that public sentiment has been oftener wrong than right. Many of the greatest enormities ever witnessed on earth have been sanctioned by public sentiment. In the judgment of many of the wisest and best of the nation, public sentiment is wrong, egregiously wrong. To attack public sentiment when wrong with arguments and example is no violence, else the Savior and his apostles did violence to public sentiment. They attacked it both with argument and practice and were charged with turning the world upside down. It is no violence to do our duty." I went to visit the Rankin House, which is on the top of the hill right above the city of Ripley. And the family decided to locate their house so that they could place a lamp in the window and put the light in that lamp so that the fugitive slaves all the way on the other side of the Ohio River could see it from a distance and know it was safe to cross over and find sanctuary in that home. As the old spiritual says, the River Jordan is deep and wide, but there is freedom on the other side. Hallelujah. And there was something very powerful about standing in that room. Standing in the room and looking at that lamp in the window and looking beyond the lamp to see the Ohio River and to see the state of Kentucky on the other side, to see that lamp, that beacon of hope. If any place is sacred on this earth, that room is sacred. The nonconformists of the past should inspire our work today. Unitarian Universalists have never been afraid to be nonconformists. When we think for ourselves on matters of religion, we are nonconformists. When we question the authority of the church and the state, we are nonconformists. When we live in the middle of the Bible Belt, but we seek out the insights of science and the wisdom of all the great world religions and philosophies, we are nonconformists. When we go to a congregation that has condoms in the bathroom, we are nonconformists. When we have a children's library that includes many of the books that are banned from public libraries, we are nonconformists. When we speak out for public safety, even though the gun lobby would have us do otherwise because we know thoughts and prayers are not enough. When we do this, we are nonconformists. We march in the Pride Parade because we're maladjusted to homophobia. We work together to dismantle racism and sexism and all the other isms in ourselves because we are maladjusted to bias and bigotry and hatred and meanness. We stock our free food pantry and deliver groceries to people in need through fish, and we host homeless families through the Family Promise program, and we tutor kids in the inner city Lonsdale School. We do this because we're maladjusted to hunger, maladjusted to poverty, maladjusted to inequity. And we want to offer an alternative to mainstream politics in our time, because all too often in our time, politics is about insults instead of ideas. And we need more ideas and fewer insults. We need, as we seek to gather together, we aspire to create a counterculture in this room, a counterculture that puts empathy and decency first, so that we can truly say, love is the spirit of this church, and service is our law, to dwell together in peace, to seek and speak and write the word in love, and to help one another. This is our mission. This is our purpose. This is our great covenant. Now, there's a Quaker tradition that says we are responsible for bearing witness to injustice, even if we can't change it, even if we're powerless to stop it. We are responsible for bearing witness, for in the words of an old Chinese proverb, slightly paraphrased, it is better to light a lamp in our window than to curse the darkness. In the Tennessee Valley Unitarian Universalist Church, we do not want to be conformed to the apathy and indifference of the larger culture. You saw Gordon Gibson up here. He was encouraging you to vote. He didn't say it. His t-shirt says it. Do you realize how few people vote in this county and in the state? Less than half of the registered voters voted in the last election. And that doesn't even include how many people are unregistered. Think about how much apathy and indifference that reflects. Have you voted yet? Early vote. Get out if you hadn't had a chance to. I hope you have. We do not want to be adjusted to the apathy and indifference of our world, but transformed by the renewing of our minds. We want to be different. We want to be unique. And we want to bear witness to justice no matter what anybody says. So be it. Let's join together in the hymn from the song we heard in the offertory for our closing hymn.
You can do what you want. The opportunity's on. If you find a new way, you can do it today. You can make it all true, and you can make it anew. You see, it's easy. You only need to know. Well, if you want to sing out, sing out. And if you want to be free, be free. 'Cause there's a million things to be. You know that there are. 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 You know that there are.
Prophetic Church, the world awaits your creatively maladjusted ministry. Go forward in the power of love with love at the center, proclaim the truth. Makes us free. Go in peace.
People living in all lands declare that fear and hate are easy. Ah, you only need to know. But if you want to sing out, sing out. And if you want to be free, be free. 'Cause there's a million things to be. You know that there are. Keep the verse going. But if you want to live high, live high.